You serious?
Yes, there are plenty of ways to kill some time out there. Right now, you're killing some time with Marcus Bronzy.
And me, Funk Butcher.
That's right, man. What is there like a hub, a place online that you can go to see and hear all things How to Kill an Hour?
HowToKillAnHour.com.
That's right. You could even try and fuck up and press .co.uk, but you'd still end up at .com. We clever, baby.
Excellent.
We got the domains.
Excellent.
The domains. What would you say this show's about, Funk?
Everything tech, everything quirky, everything for the intellectuals,
intersexuals,
those who need mentally stimulating,
those who are mentally unbalanced.
Yes. All of those, amalgamation of all those things and how you can do those in an hour.
Yeah, definitely. I like to think, somebody asked me the other day, what would you compare yourself to? I'd like to think that we're the Time Out.
We're incomparable. You can't you can't compare us to anyone. You know when they bring out those new artists, it sounds a little bit like vintage Missy Elliott with this. No, I sound like me. That's us.
And we're not playing that game.
No, we're not playing that game. We're us, man.
We're kind of like but with a twist of and a touch of a little mix and a sprinkle of a soupçon of. No, we're not.
We're like root beer. Root beer don't taste like anything else.
Oh wow. Okay. Moving swiftly on. So yeah, we spend time talking about different ways we kill time. Why? So we can share them with you. So you have new ways to kill your time. So we also try out stuff as well. I went on a Jack the Ripper tour.
Oh gosh.
Yes.
Really?
I'm not a fan of horror in film. Gonna pretend I didn't hear that.
Sorry, there's some chickens just came into the room. Some livestock.
So when this opportunity came up, I was hoping that I wasn't the one that had to go and do it. And it turned out being me that had to go and do it. So I was going to go to this Jack the Ripper tour. I was a little bit wary when I was heading over to the area of London where this kicked off, which is obviously east. It's towards east.
Yeah.
Towards East London. So yeah, I hopped on a train, headed over to Aldgate East Station at
Spit it out.
Aldgate East Station.
There you go.
I got there, yeah. This tour runs 7 days a week, this Jack the Ripper tour.
Yeah.
It has something called Ripper Vision. Yeah, so the tour guide, I'll tell you about the Ripper Vision in a second, but basically you get to go and walk around the areas of London that we can only presume Jack the Ripper frequented. And also you get to hear the history behind what London was like back then, how different policing was back then, because obviously this is like pre-CSI days, so how they did their policing. You get to hear legitimate theories on who people think Jack the Ripper is, and you also get to experience like the physicalities. Like I'm saying, you get to stand in actual places that certain parts of the Jack, I'm not going to spoil it, am I? That certain murders happened, some of the victims of Jack the Ripper, and you really get to see inside the mind of it. And I just want to say, the host that we had on the day for this Jack the Ripper tour with Ripper Vision was a real fan of the story. He'd been doing the tour for 15 years.
Really?
20? I think it's 20 plus years actually. And he says he remembers first hearing about the story when he was 8, and he was just like absolutely shocked by it, but also he was just like fascinated and he immersed himself in the story and what London was like,
because it's one of the greatest unsolved mysteries. Yeah,
it's never been solved, and he doesn't promise to solve them. Like, you don't go there and he's gonna go, well actually it was him. No, he doesn't do that. But he actually gets you so close, like you're standing next to actual crime scenes, like where this thing actually happened. And one thing's interesting is that you're in a part of London and it's like you might be next to a shop where this murder happened, and it's like now a chippy or a curry house.
Yeah,
and I was like, hey, around it. You're like, this is like where there was some of the most brutal killings to have ever happened. Because I think Jack the Ripper, could he be the most famous serial killer of all time?
He probably is. He's the most notorious serial killer in terms of he popularized the whole thing of serial killers having their calling card.
Yeah.
And there was he was the probably the first serial killer that from that popular culture of kind of like turned into kind of a mythological. Well, it's not mythological; he's real, but in terms of how they've kind of I'm trying to get the words out.
So take your time. It's a podcast, man. We could
but it's weird the way he's lauded as this mysterious figure.
Yeah,
because obviously there was this speculation that he was a member of the aristocracy. That's why he was never caught.
Yeah, theories about there being Masons involved.
Yeah,
you get to learn a lot about the Jewish residents of London as well at that time as well. So you get to learn about how they got tied into the story as well.
But what I was trying to get across is that
I went on a tangent. Yeah, go on.
He was, or she was, the first killer that we know of that had a systematic method to the way they were killing, which made it even more sinister. He had an identifiable trait, and that is, whether subconsciously or unconscious or otherwise, serial killers afterwards kind of copied that. Where they decided that, well, I'm not just going to shoot this one and then strangle this one and then tie it and then hang this one. I'm going to have a routine, a calling card, and that kind of stemmed from Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, and like he was brutal, man. Like there's this thing called Ripper vision, which as the night gets darker, obviously in the summer it's a little bit later. As the night got darker, as we're walking around these parts of London, he would like show us images of, one, what London used to look like, so you can compare it to the area that you're in, and two, he shows you some of the visuals that obviously they had limited photography skills back in the day in photography facilities, but he shows you some of the things that Jack did, and bro, I was just like, how can a human be like that? And I think being there as well makes it feel even more real. Like with a group of people who were just standing there like, hey man, like this is interesting, whatever. But like for me, it made it very real. Like you're standing where this shit happened. And the Ripper vision gets to kind of show you how it goes. I mean, I really enjoyed it being in actual places. It sounds weird being in an actual place where a murder happened, but it's just kind of like interesting to see that this is where one of the most notorious serial killers of all time, if not was doing his handiwork. And he gives you some theories as well about where Jack the Ripper could have gone afterwards, or what happened to him. It's very good. It's very good. We'll put a link in the show description. Click on that, and you can get involved in checking that out. Or I think it's jacktherippertour.com. You go with the Ripper.
That's for our overseas listeners, that's a very British thing. Our morbid fascination with that era. In terms of its brutality. Whether you're talking about the Tower of London and the beheadings, the many beheadings that occurred there. And even similar to the Jack the Ripper tour, we've got the London Dungeon, which concentrates on a lot of our deep and dark and grisly past here. So that seems to be a very British thing.
It is. And you know what? It's an interesting part of the UK to see and London to see, because this was where it was all at. This was like the hub of Great Britain. Obviously it was doing its thing, taking over the world, but this is where it was all happening. Like, and it kind of shows you why certain parts of areas look how they do now. It gives you some real, so if you just want the history of London, this is way different to like a bus tour where you just kind of get on a bus and drive by. He walks you around the streets.
This was the capital of brutality,
bruv. It was crazy. It's crazy time. So I also kill, if that's a little bit too unreasonable in terms of distance, if you're like, hey man, Marcus, how the fuck am I supposed to get over to England just to go on a Jack the Ripper tour? Here's something you can kill some time with. We've been doing a lot of card games recently. We got sent this game called Rory's Story Cubes, right? Now Rory's Story Cubes are 9 dice, which all have different logos on them. And the aim of the game is to throw down the dice and tell a story. Now, maybe for a slightly younger audience, maybe, but we had a go at them. I mean, look, I'll whip them out now. So I'm thinking time. I'll throw them down, and I'll just throw 3 dice down, and you've got to tell a story. So I got to roll the cubes, and you got to make up a story with the 3 things that come up. One fell off the table. What's the one that fell off the table?
So this cube's got Apple on it.
All right, there's one with a learner driver thing on it. Like, you know what learner drivers have? Where'd the other one go?
The L plate.
L plate. And this one's got some sort of, it's got Jack the Ripper on it. It's got a bridge on it.
Okay.
So you got to make a story with the Apple, the L plate, and the bridge.
Okay. What, right now?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. So when I first passed my driving test, when I was 17, I remember crossing over Westminster Bridge.
Yeah.
At the time, you could do whatever speed necessary.
Yeah.
So I'm driving in my learner plates on at the back of my car.
Yeah.
And then I've accidentally spilled apple juice.
Yeah.
Onto my my trousers, and then the car's veered off and crashed into a lamppost.
There you go.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
Done. You kept that very sensible funk. I feel like throwing down more. But yeah, that's it. No, basically that's it. And it's a simple ass game. But I could see this sort of being a thing, like you throw it down for the kids, for them to tell you a story at
bedtime. Do you know what it reminds me? It reminds me of that Whose Line Is It Anyway? That improvisation, that quick witty, switching on your imagination skill set.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's kind of for developing that sort of on the cuff kind of thing. Great if you want to be a good liar, innit?
Yeah.
Great for lying.
Great for the lies.
Practice some lies. Let me just throw in so why were you late today? Basically I was eating an apple and I was going over a bridge, and somebody with learner plates crashed into me.
This is great for your excuses if you're late all the time, if you're regularly sick at work,
if you're cheating on the missus or mister, you could just throw these down.
This could diversify your excuses.
Oh my gosh, I could throw some more down right now. There's an eye, a tortoise, and an arrow. Yeah, babe, it's crazy, man. Like I was walking down the street, and out the corner of my eye,
Green Arrow took out my
took out a Ninja Turtle, and a Ninja Turtle was fighting Green Arrow. Babe, it's crazy, man. And because you got 9 dice, there's over 10 million combinations. So that's an infinite amount of excuses for lateness.
Yeah,
we've just found the use for it.
Mm-hmm.
What else could we be using storage for? Rory Story Cubes. Just making up. You could just make up ideas.
Yeah.
For shit.
I think Trump's got one of them.
Do you reckon use it for speeches? What's this? A newspaper?
An eye,
and a question mark. Fake news.
And a flag of Russia.
So that's Rory Story Cubes, man. Check them out. They're pretty cool, man. You can get them on Amazon. We'll put a link to them in the show description as well. I like them, man. Slightly more for kids. Oh, wow. They've sold 5 million of these, and they've won 20 awards internationally. Wow. Yeah. For the kids then, you reckon?
I think it's across all the demographics. I think you got the kids in the preschool, kindergarten age, getting them to use their imaginations and think on the spot and expand their creative writing skills.
Yeah.
And then obviously you got your adults that like to lie.
Yeah.
Damn it. What excuse am I going to use on the wife tonight?
Yeah. Or if you eat all your kids' cereal, their favourite cereal, they come in, what happened? Whoa, wow. Yeah.
The apple done it.
I like it. They got an app as well for it.
Okay.
It's pretty cool. Very cool. I like it, man.
I think the app would be interesting, but I think if they had a network whereby people could share their stories and what cubes they use to create their stories, that would be quite cool.
Yeah.
So they can write this whole anecdote and then they basically show what cubes they had. And then
you love that, wouldn't you? That is a bit of you. Yeah. Rory Story Cubes. That's another way we killed some time. AKA Kilobit. Funk, you're an app user, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You use apps.
Mm-hmm.
You're an app man.
I'm an app
man. What was that tune? Scatman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're an app man. So when you get an app, the process goes like this. Oh, I wonder if there's an app for that. Or, oh, that's a good app. Or someone goes, here, try this app out.
Or if you're me, oh, how much does it cost?
And if it's free, you're like, oh, okay. And if it's not, what are you like?
I'm terrible, man. I'm just like, people walk down the street and they're, hey, we've got this new deal. And they're like, hey, hold on. Is it free? Okay, let's talk.
You're on that freemium vibe.
Freemium.
Is it free?
Is it free?
Yeah. So, with apps, you find out Funk's case, is it free? That's the next step. Then you download it.
Yeah.
And use it.
Yeah.
Now there's an instant apps feature which is coming for Android users, yeah, and it allows smartphone users to use apps without downloading them, which will leave more storage on your phone. So it's great news for people who have limited data allowance when it comes to downloading massive apps. You know, there's like gigabyte app-sized apps.
Yeah, I'm punching my fist in the air. That is brilliant.
Yeah, and it will also speed the browsing experience for Android users. So I think what they're going off is basically cloud computing, you know, like when you log into a terminal but the computer's not there, or like the Shield that we've used on the show, like the Nvidia Shield, where the game is based at Nvidia's headquarters but you're gaming and all you need is internet. I think that's what they're going to start doing. The app isn't going to actually have to get into your phone. The app's going to sit, for example, Facebook's app is going to be at Facebook and you're playing it, using it, abusing it at home.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a good idea? You're like,
yeah, I think that's brilliant. I mean, literally 2 nights ago I got that dreaded warning from Apple on my general settings that I'm exceeding my storage capacity, and it's just like,
Are you already paying a bit to get the storage as well?
No, but this is the thing. I've already, that because I'm already at that stage where the first iPhone I bought by way back in the day, in the Cretaceous period where dinosaurs roamed the earth, was
when BlackBerry was still hot. Yeah,
that was when BlackBerry was. That was when Neanderthal man had a BlackBerry in his loincloth, and that was an 8 gigabyte. Okay, and then I had to progress. That wasn't enough space. Got 16. I'm currently at 64, and that's still not enough space. So I'm finding the main crux of the problem is that when I download an app and then I find out that I don't use it, I'm not deleting the app. It is staying there. Aside from the pictures and obviously the WhatsApp taking up a considerable amount of space.
Yeah.
The main problem outside of those initial apps is the individual apps kind of residing on your phone, just taking up rent.
Just living there rent free.
Living there rent free.
Chilling in your phone.
Yeah. So that would be brilliant for me to kind of use an app and not have to worry about it kind of utilizing space, because I did a backup the other day on my iPhone, and it was just all these apps, like McDonald's app. I don't know why I've got a McDonald's app, but I've got a McDonald's Store Finder app, and it's just the ridiculous amount of apps. Just
yeah. Do you think what's the most ridiculous app you got on your phone? Do you think that's it?
The thing is, they're not even on my actual phone. They're just backed up.
They're just backed up onto your. So you're just backing up apps to your computer for no reason.
Yeah, but it will back up all your the history of all your purchases.
I mean, as a guy that likes to try out new apps, I have got a phone full of apps that's random. I got one called Vivino, where you point it at a wine bottle and it tells you if the wine's good. Because I'm shit at wine. That's a useless one. Or Pokemon Go. That needs to get deleted now, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, the hype's gone.
So I delete it now.
Yeah.
I'll delete one if you delete one. What have you got?
What have I got?
Face Swap Live. Never used it. Thug Life. I got one that turns videos of people into Thug Life captions.
I mean, this is harsh. I mean, I'm going to delete it, and my thumb has hovered over it numerous times.
Yeah.
And I felt guilty about deleting it, but this one's called 3-minute mindfulness. And whenever I do it, there's always, I mean, as a father of 3 kids, where am I going to get 3 minutes of mindfulness from? So, unfortunately...
Is it gone?
Yeah, let's do it now. I'm going to delete it now.
Cold it.
The screen's shaking, the apps are shaking. And
the apps shake like they're scared, don't they?
Yeah, they're frightened.
I'd like you to I'd like you to delete an app that you don't use as well.
Yeah.
Just pick one. I'm going to pick one more.
Okay, one app I've got which I don't use, but I'm not going to delete it because it's one of those, I'm an app hoarder.
Yeah.
And that's
I'm
a problem.
An app hoarder as well.
Yeah, so that's obviously a problem as well. The app is called Who Sampled. And obviously
I love that
app, and I don't use it every day, but it's always I feel like it's always important to have that there in the bank, because you never know when you're at, and you might be like, oh, where's that song been sampled from? Or where have I heard that before?
Yeah,
and it's good to have that on your phone.
Tell us how that app works. So I like it.
So Who Sampled is an app. It's got a website domain as well, and it literally has a library an extensive. When I mean extensive, the team behind this is absolutely amazing. It shows you the original sampling, the original place where the track has been sampled from. It shows future renditions that the track has been sampled in. It shows you where to buy the track. It gives you links also. And what's also nice is that it breaks down the part of the track where it has been sampled from. So if you're listening to an original track which is 7 minutes long, it'll give you the time code of at 6 minutes 51. This is where the sample's been taken from. So it's really for the music geeks out there. So
yeah, man,
never gonna delete that, but I don't really use it as much as I'd like to.
I use it all the time because I'm always like, I fucking heard that somewhere before, you know.
Yeah.
Like I've heard a grime tune. I'm like, that sounds like a Sting tune. So I sampled the grime. So I listened to the grime tune. I'm like, oh, it is a Sting tune.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's another. We've given you loads of ways to kill time. Jack the Ripper.
Yes.
Well, Instant Ads ain't out yet, but I really like the sound of that. The Story Cubes app.
Mm-hmm.
Game. I really like it. I've been messing with it, and I was like, it's cool. And now you've given me a way to use it to lie.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's someone it's going to sit with me in a place where if I need to quickly cook up some of the juiciness.
Yeah, I think I might pinch that and use it on my kids.
You could steal it and then make up a story about how it's been stolen.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm tempting fate because what I'm doing is I'm giving the skill set to lie to me.
They're going to have the most bombastic lies you've ever heard.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Dad, we broke the vase because of the apple and the L plate.
Yeah, there was a bridge.
Yeah, and then there was a bridge.
Anyway, there's plenty of ways to kill some time out there. I've been Marcus Bronzy.
I've been Funk Butcher.
Stay blessed.